everything in my life finally felt stable. I had a decent job, a small apartment, and just enough peace to believe that things were finally working out. Every morning, I woke up with a sense of purpose. Every night, I slept without worry. For the first time in years, I wasn't struggling, but life has a strange way of changing everything when you least expect it. One Monday morning, I was called into my manager's office. I thought it was just another routine meeting, maybe a new project, maybe even a promotion. But the look on his face said otherwise. Within 5 minutes, everything I had built started collapsing. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "We have to let you go." Just like that, my job was gone. I walked out of the building in complete silence, holding a box of my things, trying to process what had just happened. It didn't feel real. And before I could even recover from that shock, life hit me again. That same evening, I got a call from my landlord. "The rent is overdue," he said. "If you can't pay this week, you'll have to leave." I stood there, frozen. In one single day, I lost my income and my security. That night, I sat alone in my apartment, staring at the walls, asking myself one question. Why is this happening to me? And deep down, I felt something breaking inside me, but I had no idea. This was only the beginning. The next few days felt like a blur. I woke up every morning with the same heavy feeling in my chest, hoping it was all just a bad dream. But reality didn't change. The job was still gone. The rent was still due. And my savings were disappearing faster than I expected. I started applying everywhere. Dozens of emails, endless forms, interviews that went nowhere. Each rejection felt heavier than the last. "We'll get back to you. You're not the right fit. We've chosen another candidate." At some point, those words stopped hurting and started numbing me instead. Days turned into weeks. I cut down on everything. No outside food. No unnecessary spending. Just survival. But no matter how hard I tried, nothing seemed to work. One evening, sitting in the dark with my phone in my hand, I whispered something I hadn't said in a long time. "God, why me?" There was no answer. At least, not the kind I expected. A few days later, something strange happened. I received an email for a job interview, one I didn't even remember applying for. The company was bigger than anything I had ever aimed for. Honestly, it felt out of my league. My first instinct was to ignore it. There's no way I'll get this. I told myself, but something inside me said, just try. So I did. The interview day came, and I walked into the office with zero expectations. My confidence was low. My energy was drained, but I still gave it everything I had. For the first time in weeks, I felt alive again. The conversation went longer than expected. The interviewer seemed genuinely interested. He asked deeper questions. Questions no one had asked me before. When I walked out, I didn't feel defeated. I felt different. For the first time since everything fell apart, I had a small sense of hope. But hope can be dangerous, because a few days later, the email came. My hands were shaking as I opened it. "Thank you for your time." My heart sank. "However, we regret to inform you." I didn't read the rest. I just stared at the screen, feeling completely empty. Even this didn't work. That night, something inside me finally broke. I stopped trying. No more applications. No more hope. No more, maybe things will get better. I lay on my bed, staring at the ceiling, whispering to myself, maybe this is it. Maybe I'm just not meant for something better. For the first time, I truly gave up. But sometimes, when you think everything is falling apart, something bigger is quietly falling into place. And what happened the very next morning changed everything. No motivation, no plan, no energy to even try again. I picked up my phone out of habit, not expectation. And that's when I saw it. A missed call from the same company that had rejected me. For a moment, I just stared at the screen, confused. Why would they call me after rejecting me? I whispered. I almost ignored it. But something inside me said, call back. So I did. My heart was racing as the phone rang. One ring, two rings. Hello, a familiar voice answered. It was the same interviewer. Hi, he said, slightly rushed. I'm glad you called back. We've been trying to reach you. I didn't say anything. I was too confused to even react. Then he continued. I know you received our email yesterday, but there's been a change. A change? My grip on the phone tightened. The candidate we selected didn't work out, he explained. And after reviewing all interviews again, we realized something. I could feel my heartbeat getting louder. You were the most genuine candidate we met. I froze. We'd like to offer you the position, if you're still interested. For a few seconds, I couldn't speak. All those sleepless nights, all those rejections, all that pain. And suddenly, everything shifted. Yes, I said, almost whispering. Yes, I'm interested. After the call ended, I just sat there in silence. Not because I was confused, but because I finally understood something. The rejection I cried over, the delay I questioned, the moment I thought everything was over. It wasn't the end. It was protection. If I had gotten that job immediately, I would have never been their final choice. If things had gone my way, I might have missed something better. Sometimes life doesn't go wrong. It goes differently. And that difference is where the real blessing is. That day, I didn't just get a job. I got a lesson I'll carry forever. Trust the process. Even when it hurts. Even when it's confusing. Even when it feels like everything is falling apart. Because sometimes God removes you from the path you want to place you on the path you actually need.